Going to Disney for multiple days versus like old school football 2-a-days in the summer, which is harder?
It's a tough one. Disney, you don't notice how much walking around it is.
I'm saying,
you know, and it's like
hot.
It's hot. Your
standing in
feet
line,
back, everything start hurting, and it's like, man, I thought I was young still.
You're carrying
you know?
kids on
exactly
both sides of your back.
Yep, they want to eat every minute, every snack they see. So it's a tough one.
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
Being a football player prepares you for a lot of stuff.
Exactly
doesn't it?
right.
Seriously,
exactly right. I would agree. I think sports in general, football player, basketball. I mean, just things that teaches you a lot about life, and so I'd encourage every kid to kind of jump into it, see what they like, and don't force anyone to do it. You know, my kids, I tell them all the time, I'm never gonna force you to do anything. I just want you to try it early, see what you like. If you like it, we'll jump into it.
Man, I've heard some Razorback fans excited that you took the job. I wonder if you've heard any fans that aren't excited because you're from Ohio State. Like, oh, that dude played at Ohio State, man.
Honestly, I haven't. It's been awesome. All the fans are great, and they've taken me in like family, you know, so it's been awesome.
You learned a lot at Ohio State. It's part of your story. Like, run me through that. Tell me how, we're talking about how sports impact you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
At Ohio State, you learned a lot.
Oh, yeah, learned a lot. Played quarterback, and so playing quarterback on that level, you learn so much. And so I got a chance to play for some legendary coaches. With Jim Tressel for 2 years. I had Luke Fickell, who's doing an awesome job now in Cincinnati for a year. And then I had Urban Meyer for the last 2. So, when you have those names around you, those greatness around you, and the guys that they brought with them around them, it was like every day a learning experience of how to be great, how to grow from a high schooler, young teenager to a grown man and handle your business. And so, I had a few childish deals when I first got in because I'm from Houston, Texas, and go all the way to Ohio. I don't have to worry about my parents being right there, So, and had some maturing to do, and I felt around the 3rd to 4th year where, I got Luke Fickell and I got Urban Meyer in and started seeing, hey, this is what it takes. It changed a lot in my lifestyle, and I think it's the reason I'm sitting here today.
Yeah, what's that like for a player? It happens everywhere, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You get into college, and then where is that moment? What is that moment where you flip a switch and you're willing to work now for whatever reason?
Yep. Well, I think that moment comes when you see what it takes for your ultimate goal. I mean, if you ask 90% of the guys, really probably 100% of the guys on a football team in college football, what is your ultimate goal? It's to get to that next level. And so if you want to get to that next level, there's a time where you have to notice, hey, this is my chance, this is my shot. Not everybody walks in ready. I played with some guys that walked in and it was like, okay, this guy, he's probably going to be a 3-year guy and he's out of here because you can just see it. Not everyone walks in that way. Guys have the red shirt. Guys' stories are different, and when the guys notice that, hey, I have that chance, I have that opportunity, is when a guy really takes it to another level, and the guys that get it from the start are the guys that make it happen from the start, and so some guys it takes a little longer.
Yeah, your dad had a big influence on you, right?
Big, huge.
He played?
He was a high school coach growing up. He coached my entire life at my high school that I went to, and he didn't leave until I was 19, so he stayed 1 more year after I left, and then he finally went to College Park in the Woodlands in Houston. So he was my coach. He coached the wide receivers as I was the quarterback, and so that was awesome. That was awesome having him there for me, and I grew up learning the game from. I was at Eisenhower High School since if I could walk, I was there with him. He opened up the weight rooms in the summers. He opened up the gym for open gym. He had the guys out there doing the extra work and things of that nature to where I saw it growing up, and I knew what it took. And I saw some great players, and I saw some that didn't put the work in. I saw the ones that did, and I saw the different results they got out of it.
So you saw that, you knew that, but still when you got to college.
Yeah, we all kind of stray sometimes.
Yeah.
Growing up my entire life, I worked out. But I worked out my whole life with my dad every morning. My dad works out. He wakes up at like 4:30 and works out at 5 every morning. And I had to do that with him once I got, of age and things. He didn't make me do it in 3rd grade. But,
right.
Once I kind of got of age and things, it was every morning. I was right there with him. And so, it's kind of like I don't want to say it the wrong way, but once I got to college, it's like, whew, I kind of got that to where I don't have to go do that right now. Let me sleep in. Let me have a little fun, this and that. And so it was like I had to get back to around my third year, I would say, where I had to get back to, hey, this is what it takes. And a lot went into that, honestly. Those first 2 years, I came in a class behind Terrell Pryor, to where that guy was like, he was the man of Columbus, Ohio. I know I'm about the red shirt, things of that nature, to where it all kind of came into play, to where I was kind of strayed a bit. And I had to realize that I strayed and get back to what I knew, how I grew, and what my inspiration instilled in me is my dad. You know?
Same name?
Same exact name. I'm a junior. Yes, sir. Kenny Guiton
What's
Senior.
he call you?
Kenny?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What was he saying throughout this time? Was he in your
the
ear?
college time?
Yeah, like the first couple years?
Yeah, yes, sir. He was letting me do me. Kind of, hey, he's the biggest thing for him, honestly, and my mom were grades. As much as he coached me on the football field, it was, hey, make sure you get your grades, make sure you get your degree. And I mean, I've always had that backing, and so if I'm handling my business off the field, whatever happens on the field is supposed to happen, and hey, I just want you working hard to make it happen. It was never something where I was pressured to do something or anything of that nature. I mean, it's an awesome relationship. It was easy to deal with, and it was always just plenty of love.
Well, Urban Meyer had some good things to say, about you turning it around.
Yep.
Imagine kids hearing the Kenny Guiton story.
Yep.
And so from your perspective, what is that story that you can share with your players today or young kids?
Yep. Well, I think that story is something we kind of been leading on today, just the maturity aspect of it all. I came in, I was always a yes sir, no sir, good guy, not gonna get in trouble, not gonna be on the news or nothing like that. But got to college and wanted to be a partier. Wanted to be the guy to get everyone together, have fun. And around my third year, once Terrell has to leave, Braxton Miller comes in. And so it's like, hey, hey, dude, third year or not, you wait your time or not, best players play, And I understood that my entire life. So once that happened, it's like, hey, man, you better grow up and get ready to go, And so the thing I would tell guys is the earlier you realize it, the better off you are. Because if you can realize it, it's only going to make you work even harder for your ultimate goal. There's times in my third year where, hey, I got a freshman come in and he takes over that I'm questioning myself now rather than out there having fun, And so you never want to get to that moment to where you're questioning what you love. I've grew up my whole life loving this, and all of a sudden I'm questioning it. So keep the love for it. And if you got the love for it, you'll realize, hey, my potential, and you always want to push through that potential. And so as athletes, what do we all thrive on? Like the haters, right? The haters and people telling us we can't do something. And so once you kind of realize your potential, it's like, okay, they think that's all I got. Go push through it. Go push through it and work even harder to be even better, because that's how you make people around you better and you get everything that you want in life.
So how did you finish up at Ohio State? How'd the last couple of years go?
Finished up awesome. I mean, when I first came in, I think Urban Meyer kind of heard about my rep back for the past few years, and he was on me. He was on me tough, but he told me something really, really cool. My first time meeting him, he was just, hey, I heard you're a leader. And I said, oh, okay. Yes, sir. I think so. I think guys follow me. He's like, yeah. But I hear you're a negative leader. You're a guy that when you're on the field, you're a good leader, but outside this building, it can be negative at times. I need you to be a positive guy all the time. And that kind of changed me. I'm like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. And I never had a way of putting it in words, positive, negative leader. And at the end of the day, that spring ball, I think Coach kind of came around to saying, hey, this kid, like a smart guy. And he started calling me Coach Guiton. And then next thing you know, I was a 2-year captain for my last 2 years, and only started 3 games. Only started 3 games as a quarterback and you're a captain. It's pretty cool. That's something I really, really wear as a badge on my shoulder,
It's interesting because when in the moment too, it's all about playing. It's always about being the guy.
Exactly.
But what you learned is something that's way more valuable for the rest of your life, right?
Exactly right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's crazy. I tell guys all the time, if I would have left that place and had like the portal deal of today, I don't think I'd be sitting in this chair. You know, I don't think I'd be coaching. I think I'd be probably following in my dad's footsteps, trying to take over a high school program or something. And my dad never really had that goal of being a head coach, but he's done it for so long, and I just want to kind of follow in his footsteps. And he's got 5 brothers, and 2 of them coached as well. So it was destined for me to, I think, be a coach. But I think if I would have left that place, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair.
You stayed, you finished out,
Yes, sir.
You're a captain, you had some big moments, you had 6 touchdowns and a half, you had led some winning drives,
Yep.
But then football ends at Ohio State.
Yep.
So how did you end up getting into coaching?
So I actually was a lucky guy, man. I had a few guys kind of just knew that I could be a coach. You know, starting with Urban Meyer, Tom Herman, my guy, he was my position coach, and man, he's the big reason why I stayed at Ohio State at that time, honestly. And man, I had so many people backing me on it, saying that, hey, man, I think you can do this. I think you should do this. And so next thing you know, I have an opportunity where Tom Herman goes back to my home. I'm from Houston. He goes to the University of Houston, and I go to the national championship game. Before that was Ohio State versus Oregon, and Coach Herman had just got named the head coach. And so I go to the game, I go to the hotel, I'm telling all my guys, because I just graduated the year before. And telling all my guys good luck, shaking hands, and I get to Herman, and Herman sees me. He's like, hey, are you coaching yet? I'm like, no, sir, not yet. Come up to University of Houston next week, next Wednesday. I'll give you a call. And I'm like, yes, sir. All right, sounds good. I'll be there. And so I show up in a full suit, try to, I'm thinking I'm about to try to get this job, a GA job or something. Honestly, I started working that day. It was like Coach Herman had me in there, and I had a suit on, met the staff in the staff meeting, and the next thing you know, when they got it out of that staff meeting, I was working with the wideouts coach, Coach Drew Maringer, and he literally just went straight to a computer, started teaching me, how to use Visio, how to use the Excel stuff, it was like, oh, I'm at work right now. Yeah, okay, like, guys, I didn't bring nothing from Ohio yet. Like, I only have a bag. That's it. And so I started then, and it wasn't until, like, spring ball when I was able to go move back from Ohio back to Houston. So it was a cool story, man, and it was just kind of just knowing the right people, honestly, and it makes me feel as if I did it right in college, because I had a few opportunities come at that same time to where it was all people that was around me during my college years.
So Tom Herman gave you a start.
Gave me a start.
He was the OC back at Ohio State.
He was my OC quarterback coach.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And then he was the head coach at Houston when I got my first GA job.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So he gave you your start. Then what happened? Where'd you go from there?
I GA for him for 2 years. He goes to Texas. I went with him. I was a QC with the quarterbacks.
Quality control.
Quality control. Yes, sir. Working with the quarterbacks and Coach Beck.
Because some people don't know, what does quality control mean? What are you doing in that role?
Ooh.
GA's graduate assistant.
Yeah.
Quality control, is it like it's a step up? You're getting paid a little bit more?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It is. And you're getting paid a bit more. You do a lot of behind the scene work. Mm-hmm. So you're on the computer quite a bit. And the only difference about quality control, which I think I'm okay to say this, I'm not a big fan of it, but you can't coach. You can't coach on the field.
Yeah.
You can only instruct, I believe is how it's put. You can only give instructions.
You're
or
helping
something.
the coaches.
Yeah, you're helping the coach.
You're there same with analysts, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, that was the only thing about it, was I couldn't really coach, but I did a lot of behind the scenes stuff that really helped. Really, it's GA work. You do it same.
It's just another step in learning.
Yes, sir.
Get you ready to be a coach.
Exactly right.
So you did that at Texas, and then how did you actually get on the field as a coach?
So I was only at Texas for 4 months. I went in January when Coach Herman got there, and right after spring ball, the day of our spring game, I'm behind the scenes putting in the info on the spring game, and I get a call from Coach Major Applewhite back at Houston. Hey, do you want to come be my wideouts coach? Come down and try to meet the guys. Recruiting cycle's about to start. This is your area.
Yeah. Were you in the parking lot? Getting in your car before you got off the phone?
I'm hugging Herman. I'm hugging everybody as I'm on the phone. Like, yeah. They already knew, Coach Applewhite had already called them. And so it was like, this is cool, man. I'm headed back home from Austin, Texas. Now I'm headed back home with the full-time job.
So you got that on the field job.
Yes, sir.
How'd that go at Houston?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, we had some pretty good years there, man. From the 4 years I was there, it was some awesome years, from winning the Peach Bowl to upsetting a lot of top 10 teams that second year, and then just being solid years 3 and 4. And honestly, year 4 with Coach Browse as the OC is another big reason I'm in this chair today. I just always try to do things the right way, and just be a good guy, good person to people. I always feel like good comes back to good people. And so that's how my dad is. He's a great guy, man. Doesn't curse, doesn't drink, nothing. I mean, that's how he lives his life. That's how he wants to live it. And I feel like a lot of good comes back to him and his identical twin, because that's how they live. And so
really? He's a twin.
He's a twin, cool. Identical twin.
Yeah.
And they both are just stand-up guys that you're not gonna see them in nothing crazy. Yeah. That's just how they live. And so I've always seen good come back to them, because that's what I saw in my life growing up. And so that's who I wanted to be, and treating people right. The reason Coach Applewhite knew me was because he was the OC with Coach Herman, and I helped him as I was GAing. I helped him with the quarterbacks as well. Even though I was the wide, I was GA. I kind of didn't even say I was a wide receiver GA. I just worked with offense in general, whoever needs me.
And then you're working with Kendall Browse. He's the OC. You're the wide receivers coach.
Yes, sir.
After things end at Houston, they bring in a new coaching staff.
Yep.
What happened with you?
Man, I've kind of been around now. This is where it all kind of starts, because when you're young in this business, you get your first full-time job, you're like, man, I'll be here forever,
Right.
And it was home. I'm like, man, I'm about to be in Houston for 20 years. This is awesome. I want to work my way up from wideouts to quarterbacks to hopefully OC one day, and let's see what happens, all that stuff. So reality hits in. Reality hits in because, that's the business of this coaching world. And so from there, I went to Stephen F. Austin, and I finished that recruiting cycle. So from January to about February 4th, it's literally about a month. I was at Stephen F. Austin and Louisiana Tech call with Coach Skip Holtz. So I go interview for the wideouts job up there, ended up getting it, and so had a lot of fun with Louisiana Tech for a year. Coached some great guys, learned a lot of ball. Coach Holtz is a awesome head coach that he's seen a lot of ball, and so I learned a lot being able to move from a system that when Coach Herman and Coach Applewhite that I played in. So I played in that system, I know it, So it's easy to coach it. It's now you got to go learn one from older guys that know what they're already doing, and bring in some young guys and be able to teach those guys. So learning that system, it helped me learn a lot about offense in general. And so going from there, I went to Colorado State this past year and really didn't get a full season in. We played 4 games and COVID just kind of tore everything up, and expected to be back there another year to kind of keep learning from Coach Steve Adazio, who's a different style than I've been a part of, And so I always want to expand my game, because I want to have that chance one day, hopefully, to get back to a quarterback's room and be able to do that deal. But I learned wideout. This is fun. Because I'm a perfectionist, and I played the game that way. And so I always want to get with wideout coaches, learn different details, learn, why the why of things. And so this has been awesome. I feel like I'm getting there for this position, and I just want to keep progressing and keep getting the best at it.
So you think you're going to be at Colorado State this year, but then you get a call from
Coach Browse and Coach Pittman. Yes, sir.
Yeah, another guy that you left a good impression on.
Yes, sir.
Kendall Browse, because apparently the word is Kendall Browse was jumping up and down on the table.
Yeah.
That he had to have you.
I got you. I know he stood on the table for me for sure, and it was awesome, because when I got the call, we've always kept in touch. But when I don't know, it was just something different about those calls that kind of come in, early January and things of that nature. So when I seen his name on a call ID, it was just like, hold on now. And we got to talking for a while, and he told me the situation, and I'm like, Coach, I'll be on a flight right now. And so that's how it transpired.
That's awesome. As a younger guy, in coaching, How old are you now?
Just turned 30.
Okay, 30-year-old wide receivers coach in the SEC. Some people might, not so much today, but back, years ago, it'd be like, oh, he's too young. The guy's got to be around forever. Sure. I think people now see the advantage, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the advantage?
I think relatable. I mean, I just got done doing it. I say just, but it's probably about 7-8 years now. But I've been in their shoes, and it hadn't been too long ago, so I can relate to what they're going through. I know exactly what they're going through, and I try to use that to my advantage. And another thing is energy, liveliness. And I'm not saying anything about an older guy can't, but I just think it's as a young guy, you're so excited to be in this position that it's so genuine. It's so fulfilling for you when you get out there to just be hyped up, having fun, and it bleeds off into your guys to where they're kind of taking your personality and having fun with the game, because that's what it's all about. I tell the guys all the time, the higher you get in levels, the more business-oriented this thing is going to get. In high school, you were going out there and you were playing ball, having fun. College, you get here and now you got to go to summer work. You have to go to summer workouts. You have to go to fall camp. And now you see a true depth chart. In high school, it's kind of known the depth chart, right? You really probably not seeing it or whatever, but you're kind of known. And now you're seeing it. And it's like, hey, how can I move up from there? That's business, man. That's the business aspect of it. And so now you get to the league, you'll hear a lot about business there now. And I'm sure we've all heard the story, so you understand it. But I think I can relate. I think the energy for it. And yeah, I would say that's about it.
Yeah, that's good. And recruiting. I mean, you talked about
yes, sir.
Relatability. What do you like about recruiting?
I love recruiting, meeting families. I love meeting families because everyone's different. Everyone has something different that ticks them, that gets them going in that different fashion, and so I love meeting families. I love seeing who's their inspiration. Everyone has those different inspirations. A lot of the times it's mom, probably about 80%. But every now and then you meet the grandparents, that's the inspiration, the uncle, that's the inspiration, whoever it is, that the coach, high school coach, to where you're like, I've seen your story before, but you're a little different. I like you, man. I need you in my room. I want you in my room, and we're gonna have some fun taking you to another level. And so I would say the family aspect of recruiting is like the funnest thing for me.
It's good insight for somebody who's developed a reputation of being a great recruiter. What do you like about working with Coach Briles and Coach Pittman?
The realness of it all. And I don't know exactly how to put it, but in this business, you can get around a lot of kind of BS, to where it's not as real sometimes, to where you're like, come on now, this isn't real. Why are we doing this? You never want to second guess, anybody or anything, especially any kind of boss. But it's just the realness of it all of, hey, this is what we're worried about. This is what we're doing. Let's go with it. And Coach Pittman is going to speak up and let everybody have a chance. Hey, if everybody agree to do this, that's what we're doing. If nobody speaks up, hey, fellas, this is what I thought it should be. This is what we're doing. Once we make a decision, let's all be in with it. And that's the realness of it all. Let's not sit around BS each other, kind of whatever it is. Like I just love the realness of it. Like Coach Briles, if you ask him something, you don't have to worry about anything trying to hide in the bushes or nothing like that, man. He's gonna give you what he thinks. He's gonna give you what he thinks, And I love that about it. That's the realness we all want. In recruiting, if I'm talking to a family, I don't want them thinking, hey, Coach Guiton's trying to be politically correct. I want them to think, hey, he's telling us the real deal thing on what's the honesty,
Last one. What do you want people to see from your group, your wide receivers? What are you hoping that you're working to instill in them, and what your expectation for them?
Yep. Number one, effort. I mean, I want them to see they're going to play as hard as any group in the country. As hard as any group in the country. I always tell my guys, the football finds energy. So that's effort. If you're flying around and you just have energy and you want you're going as hard as you possibly can, that ball will find you at some point. It just always seems to happen that way, right? I want effort, toughness, guys that are gonna go out there and get it all for their teammates, get it all for their brothers that they go to work with, go to war with every day, and then big play mentality. I think as wideouts you have to have that. You have to have that chance to make an offense explosive. And when I say big play mentality, a lot of people would think I'm just talking about the deep ball over the top. If you ask my guys right now, they'll tell you we better make those last few blocks to make that running back spring it and go all the way to distance, because that's the type of guys that we have to be on the perimeter. You know, the O-line, they're going to get them through that first and second level. Now, we doing our job on that third level to make sure that they're bursting and creating explosives. So blocking's big for me. Going to make the big-time explosive play. But number one thing is you have to play hard. You have to play hard. So I would say effort, toughness, and big play mentality. Effort, toughness, big play mentality. You making those three things happen, I promise you, we're walking off the field, hugging, chest bumping, everything that celebrations do, you know. So those are the three things I always talk about.
Well, welcome to Arkansas.
Thanks for having me.
We look forward to watching that.
Yes, sir.
And good luck to you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me today and everything. So this is awesome. I appreciate y'all.